Right. Look
first.
at that.
All right. So next topic. Um, I've heard, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. And obviously, there's outliers to this where people say things like, well, if he did this, then I would cook, right? Or if he did that, then I would clean. Or if he did that, I would have sex with him, so on and so forth. Have you ever heard things like that? Where women like there's always
A give and take.
well no
That's not what it's called. That's not what
A
that's
give and
called.
these
take.
these would some men would deem responsibility.
Transactional.
Yeah, I think that's better. Ash, good job. Oh, wrong button. So and I see, if he makes enough money, right? And this is specifically in our community. Let me make sure I put that out there, right? If we don't make enough money, we don't make the decisions. We can't lead. We can't get any cheeks for this, that, and the other reason, right? And a lot of what we get, like you said, is transactional based on what we offer and what we provide. Um, but then I look at my boy Hector, right? Who's Mexican, right? He making $15,000 a year, but he don't have to ask and work for these same things as we do in our community. So I'm gonna ask the question like, is the feminism of black women, is it conditional? Like, are you only gonna do these things based on, like you said, what you're receiving? So is the feminism of black women, is it conditional? Conditional feminism. Tamora, we'll start with you.
So I don't know. I don't even know if that's appropriate because what you're saying is if you cook, right? So what if I don't cook? Cooking is essential to survival, right? Anybody could cook. It's not a gender role.
Correct.
So if I'm working, I've done both. So I've been a stay-at-home mom and my responsibility was to take care of the household. My husband didn't have to come home and then still make dinner because that was a part of my job. My job was to take care of the house
Mhm.
in exchange for bills being paid and whatever else. Now, if we're both working equally, we're both taking care of the kids equally, the household responsibilities should be shared equally.
Correct.
So
Whoa, whoa, hold on.
what you're saying is,
I'm
does
asking.
that make me any less feminine if you want to split roles, if you want me to work just as hard as you, then we're going to split all the roles, including the roles of the household. Now, what your question was, should women withhold certain things if they don't get whatever it is they're asking? No, that's childish. Not going to withhold, be like, all right, I'm not going to have sex with you because uh I needed you to cut the grass today. I think that doesn't have anything to do with uh whether or not a woman is feminine. That's being mature.
Okay. So you're saying that because we're in modern, what we deem modern days, like all these historically feminine and uh roles that women held down or did by and large, you're saying they no longer apply because we're in modern times?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it depends on the household and the way that the household is ran. So if you have a woman, does this woman in particular, does she work full time? What's the responsibility? So are you saying this woman works full time and she works 60 plus hours a week and she's still taking care of all of the household responsibilities? I don't think that's fair. Now, of course, on some days I'm going to make dinner for my husband. I may serve him a plate and he might do the same for me. But it's not just going to be all on me. No, I don't think that's fair. Nor would I expect for my husband to take on all responsibilities either if we're splitting them.
And can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
And then so you have to understand historically why that was in place. So historically, women were at the house because at one point in time, it was we were getting paid pennies on the dollar, and the man made the most money. So it didn't make sense for us to go to work and make 2 cents, and you making $2. That don't make sense. So then also, and if you're talking about black people, a lot of us and historically were sharecroppers. So the husband needed us to have all the kids and to have the kids home out there to help him with the land. So I can't work if I'm pregnant every year with your baby. So now
And
in
he can't
modern
work if you're
times,
making sloppy Joe. You know what I mean? You got to
right,
make him a healthy meal.
I have
If
to
he
cook
has to,
you and all
right.
these kids I keep having. So so I can't work. So now, now that the workforce is more, equal, and most, a lot of us black women are making more money than y'all. So why should we be sit at the house doing stuff when sometimes we're the breadwinner? Why do we why can't the roles be the load be
So
shared? Because cooking, most professional chefs are men. So men cook and they make good money doing it. So why we got to cook? Y'all cook. Men, G Garvin, all these chefs, they're men. If you look in the chefs, most of them are male. So it's not there. It's equal roles that can be shared. There's no such thing, I don't think, so much
I,
as roles. You just have to kind of do what works for y'all.
I feel like y'all always want to like share roles when it comes to like your chores. Like you don't want to share roles when it come to ours. I don't hear you
Such as,
saying like, hey, I'm gonna get out there and cut that grass half of the Saturdays. You take this Saturday off, babe. I'm gonna push that mow. You know what I'm saying?
There's some women that do.
Nah, where?
I'll pay somebody to do it. You ain't got to.
Okay,
I see women cut grass all the time, and I judge, but I see it
Why do
I
you
ain't.
judge?
because I'm not cutting grass. You know that I'm
So
not cutting grass,
makes his point, right?
Exactly.
but I also cook every day,
No,
so it doesn't
he's
matter.
saying male dominant role, historically male dominant roles that women never ask. Like we never see women by and large doing those roles.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to go 50-50 on those roles. You don't want to get out there and wash the car, and cut the grass, or paint the house, or do
Y'all not
There's
paying
women that
houses.
do that.
whatever. You don't want to clean the gutters and take the trash to the front. You don't want to go 50-50 on those, but all of your chores you want to go 50-50 on because you got a job now.
Yeah,
He's so rude.
yeah.
Because you got a W-2 now.
I mean, and to be honest, y'all are not cutting the grass every day. Y'all are
Right.
not
Well, you
cleaning the
also are
gutters
paying
every day. You
landscapers. I
want us
mean,
to
if
cook
you're making
every
money,
day. You're not
right?
doing the yard every day. You're doing it what, once a month?
But
Uh,
it's a way more
or when the
physically
tears
taxing. It's
up, whatever
way
that
more.
is.
No, it's not once a month. First, it should be. If you only once a month, your yard is looking like some shit. But it's also a way more physically demanding task than doing this right here over a pot. So I don't think you can compare the two.
Or you can just make money and hire your yard man. That's what I do. Ain't gotta worry about it.
Right. You would hire a landscaper.
Just hire somebody to do it.
You
You
make
know,
that choice. You do it yourself.
everybody want to outsource their responsibility. Why would you
It's
just
called
do?
it's called supporting small black businesses. You want to
Uh,
keep the community afloat.
we keep our savings account afloat by keeping that money in house.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
But Hamp, to your question, you had asked why does Hector and his wife, why does he? So what you're saying is that he gets treated, you feel like better from his wife,
Yeah,
other
so
nationalities.
yeah, and I just used Hispanic group, right, because sometimes you may look at other groups, maybe like Arabic nations, right? Or then when they're here, oftentimes they own different stores, property, businesses, right? And so their women don't work, also, right? So now she can keep
Right.
up on those chores and such. But now Hector, Maria is working. She's selling flowers on every corner of Washington D.C.
Why her name gotta be Maria? Right?
Well, that's not. I mean, Maria. Yeah, that's the first one that came to my mind, right? So, she's selling flowers on every single corner, rain, sleet, or snow. Am I right or wrong? You live out here, right? But she's still cooking. She's still having a million kids, and she's still taking care of that house, and she's still taking care of Hector.
Is
She's
Hector still working hard? But Hector's role, right? Or from
at
a
Home Depot at
Hispanic,
3 a.m. every day.
exactly. So a black male, because we're using nationalities now. So a black man that works $15,000, is he at Home Depot every day?
What do you mean?
Could
Oh,
be.
it's conditional.
You said Hector. No, what you're comparing Hector's life to, you said a black male. So Hector's making a small amount of money, but he's hustling. Even though he's not making a lot, he's out there hustling every single day,
Uh huh.
right?
Yep.
I'm asking, in a black household, that guy that's making $15,000 a year, is he hustling the same way that Hector is?
Is he making $15,000 a year?
15, both making $15,000 a year.
Then he hustling, right? If you consider Hector hustling, he hustling. The money is what defines the hustle.
So let me clarify something here.
No.
Let me just ask this.
Sure.
So do you think that Maria is at home, she's with the kids, she's doing her housewife duties, and then Hector decides, okay, I'm going to go out physically and I'm going to work and bring in the money. Do you think that Hector's job is more important than what Maria is at home doing, taking care of your kids, making sure that you have a meal, keeping your house clean? Is that what you're saying? And then you're expecting, just to make sure I'm hearing you right, that because she's at home with these kids, and when Hector has come home after a long day of work, he's supposed to just go ahead and give into his every need. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, that sounds like a pretty damn good life. I need to check that off.
Mm-mm.
But also I said Maria was selling her flowers, so she's working too.
You're talking
Okay.
about a Black American male, so most likely, if he's making $15,000, he's probably working part time somewhere,
Mhm.
Why is
right?
that?
Mhm.
Because we're just using simple. I mean, we're all could do
Well,
math here.
if he works at the store and he makes $8 an hour, that's gonna be $16,000 a year. So maybe he works at Safeway or somewhere. I don't know. He makes $8 an hour. That's gonna be 16,000 a year.
I guess what's the point? What are we really talking about?
That's
That's
it.
what I'm trying to understand. Because is your
It means that
question
the male. It means that the male is working less, is what I'm saying. He's not trying. He's not putting in the same effort for his family as the other person would be. That was the whole point of that.
It's
I
full
Right.
mean
time.
that's
It's 9 to 5,
not
8 hours.
necessarily true. I mean, because let's say he doesn't have a college education or high school diploma. I mean, if he's hustling, he's hustling. I guess the what I'm trying to get back to is like the question. I mean, I don't think feminine qualities have left Black women. I think that we've kind of leveled up, meaning like we've come into the workforce, we're dominating the workforce, and we don't feel like we have to be restricted to taking care of the kids or just taking care of the home. That can be a joint venture, just like anything else. So let's just, share responsibilities. And when I say share,
So
like,
you wasn't doing that out of love. You was doing that out of just the fact that you was at the bottom. You was ready to get rid of that task as soon as you could. I thought y'all was doing that out of love for the
No,
household.
No,
no.
it
Actually,
was
Grandma,
never.
right, I was about to
I,
say,
I
yeah,
thought y'all was doing
no,
that out
it's
of love.
work.
It
It's
never
work.
was. No.
no.
Okay.
Do you mow the grass out of love?
I do, because I say I want people when they show up to my crib, I want to look nice. So I go out there and do that out of love, not because who are
Because it's
within this.
something that you enjoy.
Nah, just because I got a responsibility to keep our unit looking nice.
Hmm.
So I go out there and handle my
Right.
responsibility.
Well,
It wasn't based on who made the most that week.
it can be a responsibility, but we ain't gotta like it. So if we ain't gotta do it,
Yeah.
we're not gonna do it.
Okay, all right. So we only do
Yeah.
the responsibilities we like to do. I got you. I'm on it.
So here, what was your original question?
Yeah, and that's what I
Yeah.
mean, right? So some of these tasks that I mentioned, right, historically are feminine tasks, right? Women conduct those tasks, right? And so it sounds like if we aren't doing particular things and these tasks don't get done or they have to be shared, therefore that part of the feminism of that woman is conditional. That even includes the bedroom. Right. So now let me ask you a question. If I come home and I'm dog tired and I cook, it was my day to cook dinner, right? What if somebody break in the house? Do I get to give up that task because I'm too tired and I cook dinner? Or is that
If you
still my task regardless of the fact?
if you don't want to live, I mean,
I'm
Right.
like,
I mean
you're
that's
not
what
gonna
you
let
can
them
say for
break
yourself.
in. You're
I
gonna
mean,
be
Throwing a
like,
whole different
we
type
can
of
give,
wrench into
we
the
can give
Yeah,
answers.
that's not the same thing.
Yeah,
It's the
well,
same
yes,
thing.
it is the same thing because
Survival.
it's a masculine task, right? That we are held accountable for, right? Let me give you an example. If somebody comes to your house and your house is messy and you have a husband, who they gonna talk behind their back? They're gonna talk about your husband or you?
they're gonna
Me.
talk about the woman.
Yeah. So now if somebody breaks in my house and I don't guard and defend my house because we got some equality all of a sudden, right? Who they gonna talk about? Me or Shanice?
They're
You.
gonna talk about you.
Yeah. So do
You
I
might not
get
be
to
tough,
choose?
but you might not be tough. Like,
Oh
I
wow.
mean, you may not be tough. What if you're just not tough?
It don't matter. You
What
still
if
got to
what
try.
if you're
It
just
don't
not
matter if you're
tough?
tough or not. You still got to go. You still got
Yeah,
to.
like
When
That's not equivalent.
Why not?
it's absolutely equivalent.
Why isn't it though?
Being able to fight off an intruder is not equivalent to cooking a meal.
it's not
Responsibility
like
is
you
what we're
fighting on somebody every day.
Yeah,
Are
it's
you
not the
saying
same.
okay? So let me ask you a question. That's fair. I think unless let me articulate though. So you cook 7 days a week. I save your life one day. You saying that I haven't earned those meals for the rest of your life?
No, because you gotta eat. Like someone said,
Wow.
you gotta eat.
Wow.
You tried it
Listen,
like
if you
that.
gonna hold that over
Wow.
my head, bro, just let me go. Let me die. Let me die. If you're gonna
Damn,
hold it
man.
over my head, let me die.
So,
Let me know.
Just let me die. Let me
Yeah,
die.
you Poop. You say that until the dying start happening.
Now, I
right.
happen to be cooking, and here is a plate for you because you gotta eat too. There you go.
No, I'm just saying though, you gotta understand, like one can account for many. Even in relationships, you have a bunch of good days, right? You got one bad day, you forget about that week of good days. So one can account for many or overcome many. So again, I ask, am I able to forego that task and not deal with any judgment or consequence that come with it?
Not if you still want to be married the next day.
You mean so what you're saying is there's an intruder in your house and you're
Mhm.
like, I'm tired, and you just walk up and save yourself. You just get out, you don't even wake up the kids, nothing. Sharnice there, you just get up and go out the back door and leave them there. Because that's what you're talking about.
No, I'm saying,
You're
babe.
not trying to fight off anybody.
He
You're
no,
not gonna help because you're
he hear
tired.
somebody moving around in the front room. He tell her to go check on it.
Yeah,
You
remember
go
I
check
cooked
that out.
today. I cooked today.
Yeah.
All right.
You know
Yeah, I
what's
cooked today.
interesting to
I
me?
worked and I cooked today. You go check that out.
You
Go
know
ahead.
what's interesting? It's interesting to me that black men equate uh, labor
Labor.
with love, right? Because historically, black women, we had to do things because we couldn't afford a nanny like white women could. White women have nannies for years since
Mhm.
slavery, right? Because we were the nannies. They had cooks, and like I don't know if their men like, oh, my wife has a cook and a nanny, so is she less a woman? It's only with y'all, because now we
Yeah.
have we
Because it's
have
a status for
means,
them to have
Well,
the extra help. It's a status.
right?
yeah.
We have means to have extra help, right? And we don't want to be dog tired, and we don't want to use our labor as love. And then
Right.
now it's being equated as, oh, we're not feminine because I want a nanny, or I want to hire someone to help with the food.
I mean, to
Right.
to be fair, we kind of do that with men too. Like, if a man does not decide to figure out if there's an intruder or not, we do, count discount him for a couple of L's for not defending us. Like if he doesn't decide that he wants to wash the car, he wants to go get it washed,
I
or
won't care.
Yeah, as
well,
long as it gets
no,
done.
yeah, because it's
Yeah.
not all women, but there are some women that want a manly man, and for them, a manly man equates to like the gender norms. And
Right.
so I mean, I think there's hypocrisy on both sides, but I'm just like, do what works for you. This argument is like the same argument. Like
Yeah.
whatever works for your relationship dynamic, I think should just be it.
Yeah, I guess, except for "Do as thou wilt" has not gotten us very far.
Yeah.
And then I think in regards to black men too, I mean, just in my own personal experience, I know it was like a big struggle for my husband and I to connect because he was raised by a single mother. So his mother worked two jobs. She would come home. She wouldn't even take her coat off. She would cook for her kids with her coat on. So she worked two jobs, come in, cook with her coat on, cook dinner, clean up the kitchen, sit down for a little bit and fall asleep in front of the TV with her coat and her work clothes still on. And so, when we came together in a marriage and then we had, the first kid and the second and the third and the fourth, it's like I'm not going to work and coming home and cooking dinner with my coat on. I know that's what you're used to seeing, and that was the image that you saw. But the whole point of me having a partner is to have help. Your mother shouldn't have had to live that way.
Mm-mm.
She did it because she had to, but that's not the life that she should have lived. She should have had help. And because we're in a partnership, I expect for you to pick up a pot or do some chores or bathe the kids or whatever it may be. So when you talk about black men in particular, you're talking about not all, but there's a lot of men that saw that as an image of women where they've just worked into the bone and had no room for joy in their life. And they expect
Mhm.
that from their women when they enter these relationships. They don't see women having, a place where they could just relax, where the mom came in and was able to watch TV or take her clothes off or take a bath because they didn't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
So, you had to set a lot of men you have to set straight. Listen, I'm not your mother.
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry that happened to her. I'm sorry that she had to work those jobs and she had to cook, whatever it was with her coat on, but I'm not doing that. I'm taking my bath and you're going to have to figure something out.
Go ahead and ring
Hey,
the alarm, Hamp. That's a word right
nah.
there.
Ain't no word, cause hey,
That is a
No, but it
word.
is a
nah,
word, Corey, because
cool.
then
No,
on
it's not
top
a
of that,
word, cause it's tell you what. When you get that flat tire, I'm gonna say I'm not your daddy. Fix the tire yourself.
And I don't care as long as you pay for the AAA. As
Nah,
long as
see,
you
nah,
pay for the AAA.
you always got something. Nah, fix it
But
yourself.
but as long as you
'Cause I ain't
you
paying
don't
for
have
it.
to listen, you don't have to come and save me. Just make sure that I'm safe. So if it's a matter of me having a AAA service, if it's a matter of what, because you
Well,
can't be there for
do these apply to
everything.
your task? You don't have to cook for me. Just make sure I'm
It
fed.
does.
All
Exactly. I
right.
could
Well
order
then,
out.
okay.
I could order out, or I can make sure that you have something, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to be just exhausting myself till I don't have anything left to give. If I also want to go, I also want to get in the bed and have sex, but I don't want to be so tired that I have nothing to give. And that's what a lot of women and still live through. They don't have anything to give, and I'm not doing that.
So you'll wait for the AAA got 2 to 4 hour time windows. But I'm right around the corner. But as long as I call AAA, everything copacetic.
I was married to a man that didn't know how to change the tire, so I mean, I always had AAA.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah, that's a problem because I had to call AAA today. Yeah, they ain't coming till the next day.
Yeah,
Like it's
I've
pretty bad.
always
So
had
if
it.
my man
Exactly.
don't come for me or my woman in this case, like, yeah, it's gonna be
Exactly.
some problems. You're not about to leave
Yeah.
me out here.
all right. I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough, man. Shout out to Hector.
And
don't
Maria.
forget Maria. Don't forget Maria.
But as
Shout out
long
to
as
her too.
as long as both partners have enough energy, at the end of the night, you could enjoy each other. Maybe
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
gets a massage, maybe somebody get a little something extra, but you have the energy to do that.
yeah.
Yeah. And I
And I
guess
think
go
that's
ahead.
really what it boils down to. It's like we talking about a transactional type relationship, and who wants that? Like, when you come from a place of love, like I should never have to say, oh well, I cooked yesterday, so she gonna cook today. No, like if I know
No.
she's coming home tired, even if I cook today, you know I'm gonna cook tomorrow too. Like it's because you're coming from a place of love. You're acting based off of servitude to your partner, and not based off of gender norms, or based off of what the responsibilities were once they were set. Like that, none of that stuff matters when you actually care for your partner. So it's just weird.
Okay. So just so I'm clear. The protection of the house. If I'm tired and I cook that day, I can forego that responsibility.
Do that if you want to.
Yeah.
You
All
can
Just
right.
how men
outsource.
gonna
You can outsource it, Ham. You
Oh,
can
okay. Get a
You
security.
can.
lay in the bed and call the police and wait for them to come through. Just outsource
First of all, you always looking
it.
for a fight, so that's
And
not going to happen.
right?
Right.
you can outsource
That's
it.
not going to happen.
Call a security company. Tell them to come through.
Yeah,
Some
what
moving
happened?
around in your living room.
Club. Okay. Good feedback. Good feedback.